Hello there. I'm going live for one more. I wanted to do a review on a show that surprised me, The Walking Dead. Now, for a couple of years, Walking Dead has suffered some losses in story writing and just playing around uh, establishing itself. Negan both hurt and helped the show, I believe. And with this new development, the creators made a lot of poor choices. And the showrunner, Greg Gimple, has in fact crippled the show by killing a lot of the main characters off, whether it's shock value or contract disputes or what have you. The show has been in a steady decline. This season, the season final actually surprised me. And the reason why it surprised me was because the show did a shocking death, which I haven't seen, and I'm not going to give spoilers out in this one, but it was quite shocking. And it also established one of my favorite groups in quite possibly the chilling fashion. It was very old school horror with them walking through the cemetery and all that, but the Walking Dead has introduced a group from the comic books that I love, and the group is called the Whisperers. And why they call them the Whisperers is because these people dress up like zombies and they talk to each other within the groups of walkers, but they whisper, hence the name the Whisperers. This show didn't do anything revolutionary, but it did for me put The Walking Dead back on track to what it was, which is a very haunting survival horror dealing a lot more with the zombies. And I gotta say, I'll have spoilers for this, but for a non spoiler review, the best part of this show was the character building for once. Jesus, Aaron, and Daryl go on a hunt for Eugene and Rosita, who have both been missing. And now, with the departure of Rick, this time jumps 7 years later, and you can see the group is fractured between the different settlements. Negan is still in jail, and without getting too specific, because I want to keep this review shorter, needless to say, they're trying to get themselves back on track, and they're getting ready for this big festival that brings all of the communities together: Alexandria, the Hilltop, the Kingdom, and right now the alliances are all over the place. Maggie just left the Hilltop, and Alexandria has I believe, I want to say Ezekiel. No, Ezekiel is doing the kingdom. I believe Alexandria has Michonne, who's cut herself off and is kind of like when we met her in the governor arc. And the interactions between them for the first time didn't get me bored because the time jump kind of puts you in the middle where you're like, what's happened? Why is everyone's relationships fractured? And so that to me was getting back to the basics of what Walking Dead was, and not just the people, but the zombies. And the zombies were amazing. There were a couple of scenes where they tried to distract them, and they kept on going where they were going instead of being distracted, and you're wondering what's going on. Only to have the big reveal at the end of the episode, which I don't want to give too much away, but we lose a main character. And then the fashion we lose him is quite epic. It even took me by surprise. Um, so all in all, I gotta say it wasn't a perfect episode. Some parts of the episode were just downright boring. But most of the episode was quite good. So, in close, I'd have to say The Walking Dead has gotten back to sort of the basics now. Whether or not it's too late and they've lost a lot of viewership with the poor decisions, it remains to be seen. But I think that they are on track for a amazing season 9 second half, because this was only the first half. This is part A. They still have part B to do, but the way that they ended this half of the season was quite amazing. And the title Evolution refers to the zombies evolving, or what Eugene believes the zombies are doing, which by the end, I don't want to give the surprise away, but needless to say, in a sense, they have and they haven't. So I'm very interested to see how they tackle the Whisperer and the storylines, considering a lot of them had to do with Brick and Carl, and both of them are no longer on the show. So it'll be interesting to see where the story goes and who the highlights and standouts are for the season. But all in all, it was a great episode. And if you have tuned out because you feel like it's lost its way through the last couple of seasons, now is an excellent time because the special effects for the last night was spectacular. The camera work was great. The atmosphere and the big reveal at the end of the episode had me going back through a couple of times and watching it to see if I could pick up on what was coming. So, very brilliantly done. Um, the rest of the season was kind of hit or miss. But as far as storytelling goes and moving the plot along, it really got much better. So, it'll be interesting to see where they go from here. But that's all I got for this review. I will be doing Seven Deadly Sins tomorrow and Creed. And yeah, for right now, I'll see you in the next review. Take care and God bless.